Alright, let's do this. So, this will be for the direct lung, mass-produced commercial Chinese single coil RTAs. Okay? Starting off first, in my last place, I should say, would be this fella here. This is the Og Vape Druga Vape House. I still don't even know who that is. I don't know if they just called this the Druga or if they called this the Druga Foxy or Druga 1, or I honestly forget. Or maybe that's this mod is this Foxy 1, I think. They kind of paired together well. Anyhow, it's a very small, stubby RTA, and it's very straightforward. Twist off top cap or whatever, and yeah, I mean, I can take a minute to show you it, I guess. It's got a nice big old belt. Look at that coil, Jesus. Look at that, 4 posts, Phillips screws. You can't beat that. And the way the airflow is for it, it actually looks very similar to like a Typhoon GT4 or a GTX kind of look. Let's see if I can show you this real quick to compare, and you can see similarities here. Can you see the airflow underneath? I know it's hard to see with this giant, stupid looking coil I got, but yeah, this thing has similar airflow too. Anyhow, it's not going to have the best juice capacity or whatever, and I really don't know. I mean, it's already kind of like a bubbled tank, so and I can't say it's the most restrictive, but it's not, I don't know, it's not too airy, it's not too restrictive, it's just there, and it was good. Aesthetically it's pretty nice. It's not too tacky or anything. It's pretty simple styling. So here is the Zeus X by Geek Vape. Hui. One of the first RTAs I've had. I really like the top cap / drip tip, the way they kind of meld into each other. It's top airflow. It's a quarter turn to get this off to refill. It's pretty nice. Can't beat that. Let's see. The styling is, it's not too trashy. It's not too, I know it's a bubble tank and all, but that's just kind of the style, and you need it juice capacity for more airy stuff. So it's a postless deck. See the way the air comes in, honeycombed top airflow. Although, let's see, did it come around the side? Yeah, I think it's low enough that it's really like side airflow, and that build deck kind of reminds me of like a Juggerknot build deck a little bit. So I think that's pretty good match there. I even went out of the way to get this at one point, the Zeus X mesh, when I went through a little mesh phase. Let's compare this build deck, and yeah, all mesh build decks kind of look the same, I'll say. But that's, when I used mesh, I wouldn't even say that was my favorite for mesh. I actually preferred this. The Kylin M. I didn't think I'd like this, but I actually found this to be a pretty good RTA at the time. You know, another short, bubbly, stocky tank. Came with a nice resin drip tip or whatever. But, you know, I don't know. It's been years since I used anything mesh, so couldn't tell you much about that. Okay. Next up, you know, this isn't going to be the longest segment here. The Thunderhead Creations. This is just called the One or whatever. Doesn't even say it on there. Pretty sure this is like a PCTG, I think. Hopefully, or maybe it's just a polycarbonate, whatever. You know, a little bit of that like Kylin deck. You know, nice deck. Look at all the coverage and, you know, like one of those classic half-pipe decks that they were doing at that time. All these old coils I keep seeing are really ugly. Oh, this needs to be cleaned better, too. This is bad. Sorry, guys. This is a mess. But look at the way... The design is very convenient. I mean, it was well made. You know, they thought this one out. And performed pretty good. I can't remember the capacity. I'm going to say it was probably 5. You know, it's like these tanks bubble, so you'd think they'd have tons of capacity, but the chambers are really big too. So it kind of ends up balancing itself out that way. Alright, next up is the Squid Industries Peacemaker 25. It's another single coil. Now this, I remember, did 4 milliliter with this tank. This like protective tank. This is the stock tank, but it also came with another tank that was a glass bubble tank, and that did, you had to swap everything out. Oh man, I don't even know if I can get to this build deck. Yeah, I can. You had to swap a couple things out, but it did 8 milliliter when you switched out to the clear bubble tank. So that's the build deck. It's held with that ceramic piece, which kind of reminds me of the revolver from Vandy Vape, which I don't have anymore, but that was a great one. For single coil, that was just a cheap RTA. You could actually spin the airflow dial underneath, basically like an Imperia, but you could actually access, or you could only access it when the deck was open, which isn't that convenient. Again, more like honeycomb style airflow. They had it down. I mean, styling, the designs were good. Yeah, Squid Industries. I don't think they're around anymore. Alright, number 3. Who the hell makes this, actually? I know it's the Ether. Suicide Mods. Yeah, so this is Bogan's Ether RTA. The original one. I think he came out with a couple versions of it, right? Yeah. This thing was cool. I mean, it came with a bunch of different kinds of glass and stylings. Oh yeah, it had that click. When you changed the airflow, it clicked. It's a shame that I don't really use any of this stuff anymore, but I have fond memories of it. So there's the tightest. Yeah, so I mean, it was more of a RDL, MTL type thing, but fully open like that. It's still RDL, I'll say. It's actually pretty good, the draw. Oh, God. See, it's so hard to maintain all this stuff. It gets a little crapped out. But, yeah, that's a good one. Phillips head screws, can't beat that. Alright. That maybe should have been it. Well, I don't really have an RDL category for this, so. Alright, that was number 3. Oh no, that had to be number 4. I'm sorry, guys. This is going to be a little longer than I thought. That's number 4. Okay? This is a toss-up between these two, but I'm going to put this one. This is number 3 for me. The Reload S RTA. S is for single. Yeah. This was great. It had that access to your deck like those other RTAs, I believe I was talking about. Like the, oh jeez. Can't even open it up. It's just been so long. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it opens up just like how the Aviator does, or Aviator. Well, yeah, I think the Aviator too, but the Avatar and the Har and, you know, those style RTAs, the Integra. God, it may just be too long. I can't even get to this. But yeah, this was a super smooth airflow. You can see that style airflow, the way it's various sizes. Well, there's that cheese grater looking airflow, which just came out really nice. Reload is one of the best. I mean, they make stuff look good too. Function good and look good. This one, alright, moving along. Sorry I couldn't even, I don't want to try to mess around with that on camera right now. I'll try to keep these a little short. They're already too long. Okay. QP Designs Juggerknot Mini OG. The original Juggerknot Mini. This thing is great. I know it's kind of weird looking. Like it's real fat at the base, but then it gets skinnier. But like, look how cool it is. The way you had to fill it. It's actually top airflow, top down airflow. Now watch this. You actually have to pull this up. See that? That just comes up. And that's where you fill it. Now, as cool as it looks, it can be a little finicky because then you have to pour it slow and try to hold it like at a weird angle. So it is a little more of a novelty way to fill your tank than, it's more novelty than convenient, I will say that. But I don't know, this RTA just left such a good impression on me, first impression on me, and is one of the tanks, one of the atomizers that really pushed me into hobbyist vaping, you know, that where I actually got it and enjoyed it. Actually, this isn't even an original version of it, though. Or a legitimate version of it. Alright. Yeah, who'd have thought? Cloning themselves. So, let's see. My last RTA, my number 1 spot for cheap Chinese commercial mainstream single coil RTAs is this one. So this is the Nitrous. The Nitrous RTA by Damn Vape. I really was impressed with this. I looked at it kind of like it was a poor man's Jenna RTA, because it has a couple similarities. I'm not going to get into that right now. I talk about it in my review for it, but it's pretty restrictive. I mean, I like vaping it like this, but you can also open it up a little more. So, I mean, that would be all open. And so you see the airflow is similar to that of the Nitrous RTA. I never had the Nitrous RTA, but that has a great reputation as well. By the time this came out, I mean, I just don't feel like this was, this kind of thing wasn't as popular. I think Boro stuff was just getting its recognition. So it's a very short RTA. It's not too wide or nothing. I think it's a 4 milliliter capacity. It's an 810 tip though, and so it just really works out well. Let me tell you. So the bottom opens up like that classic. I keep mentioning this: the Har and the Integra and the Avatar. You take a bottom piece off. Even the Steam Crave tanks open like this. So, look at that. Postless. Pretty small build deck. And really, I mean, you see the little ramps on the side. It's like the airflow comes in, ramps up the side, and hits it straight on from the side. It is vertical or gravity fed wicking. I see where it comes down from the top, pulls up in these little pockets here, the juice wells. Yeah, I mean, it just went under the radar, and I was just bought it on a whim. I already had stopped vaping this kind of thing for a long time, and just something told me to buy it just by design. I just thought it looked like it was going to work out really good, and it does. And it takes a little more wick than the stuff I normally use, but I didn't have to pack it with wick either. You can always push the wick up a little bit too to absorb right to the top of the where it feeds in at. It doesn't have juice flow control, which is a little weird for gravity fed wicking. You would hope there'd be juice flow control, but I just do the standard method I do on literally any RTA or sub-tank or whatever. You close off the airflow and or juice flow control if you have it, if applicable. In this case, it's just airflow, so close the airflow, fill it up. I believe it's just a nice little quarter turn. Yep. And fill it up, put it back on. It's got knurling all over it too, which is cool. It came with this beauty ring as well. Anyhow, it's a 22 millimeter. So then you flip it upside down after you filled it. Then you open up the airflow. And then after you open up the airflow, wait a second. And maybe slosh it around a little. And then slowly flip it back right side up. And move it side to side a little. And it just gets out all that excess air. And yeah, you shouldn't have any leaking. Yeah, this is number one for me. It actually just came out only a year or so ago, despite most of my stuff being pretty old on this list. So, alright, that's everything. Wow, this ended up longer than some of the other videos somehow. So, that's all, folks. That is the top tone completion for all RTAs. Next up, we'll do RDAs. Thanks for hanging in there. Bye.